Which good character is actually a horrible person? Hank Schrader. I know he's good through about 90% of the show, but at the end he wants to be the one who gets Heisenberg so badly that he completely ignores protocol while having no issues with putting his partner and Jesse's lives at risk. Had he actually involved the D in his investigation, he never would have been in the desert without any backup and he and Gomi would have lived. I agree. Hank was probably one of the few good guys in Breaking Bad, but that didn't stop him being arrogant, casually racist, and generally a bit of a dong. The moments where he showed weakness were really nice because they humanized him and showed him to be a flawed person who was trying to do the right thing. Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid is a son of a bee that bullies his friends to satisfy his own personal agenda. Tigger. The idiot wrecked Eeyore's house and sings about how great he is. The only good thing about him, as he says, is that he's the only one. There are no more of him. Eeyore agrees with that statement. In the most recent movie when Tigger comes in and destroys everything, Eeyore says, "The most wonderful thing about Tiggers is you're the only one," quote dryly. Lara Croft destroys priceless ancient pottery by rolling into it, kills everybody in her way, kills endangered tigers. A tomb raider is essentially a grave robber. A tomb raider literally means grave robber. The Good Witch from Wizard of Oz. Yay, that story could be turned into a murder thriller where she's basically trying to kill off her competition for personal gain. It's pretty fricked up when Dorothy skipped down the road wearing the prized possession of the person she just killed, just accepting that the person she killed was a bad person without ever knowing them. Peppa Pig is a horrible brat and a bully. My favorite scene is when she calls Suzy Sheep on the phone to ask if she can whistle, because Peppa can't, and when Suzy whistles, Peppa just hangs up on her without saying anything. Renegade Shepard from Mass Effect 1-3. I love how he goes from loose cannon bad cop that gets the job done in ME1 to genocidal maniac in ME3. Ren Shep is cray. I liked how Garrus kind of went along with him too. Started all red tape and then turned into a maniac sniper. Here come the test results. You are a horrible person. That's what it says. A horrible person. We weren't even testing for that. I hope you like being the last president of the Being Alive Club. Most Golden Path members in Far Cry 4. If you go to a certain town after you finish the main story and side with a meter, you'll see the Golden Path forcing children to join them and threatening to kill their parents if they refuse. I think they were definitely supposed to be made out to be the bad guys. Kaylau. Frick that whiny little crap. I had to scroll way too far to find this little b-boy. I refuse to let my kids watch that insufferable little turd. Get some real problems, you bald pudgy frick. Princess Bubblegum. She spies on anyone and everyone, dismantles or attacks any potential opposition even if it's friendly, leaving them helpless in the name of protecting her kingdom, and is generally closed-minded to her fault, and it puts her friends in danger at times. Prince Philip. Like dude, she was asleep. As a Brit this confused me greatly for a moment. Okay, but didn't Tim Kerbal try to fricking kill Wendy? Like WTF. That whole movie is disgusting either way. That's what happens when the person you love is a child psychopath who doesn't give a crap about you unless he needs something from you. When she died he didn't even remember her. Ferris Bueller is kind of a dong if you don't look at it from his perspective. Piper Chapman from Orange is the New Black. She's a real T. I'm glad the show puts more focus on the other characters now because I don't give a crap about her at all anymore. Hannah Baker. She made Clay think he had done something horrible to her for most of the tapes, when she could have just left a quick message at the beginning saying that she only included him so he could listen. Plus there's the way that she blamed her suicide entirely on other people. It's always a choice and putting that on people's shoulders is not good. I especially felt bad for Zach, the dude that took her compliment cards from the classroom bag. Dude seemed pretty genuine and wanting to make her feel better and didn't publicly shame her, unlike the others. Everyone from any romantic comedy ever. Except for Martin Freeman and Love Actually. Woody from Toy Story. He gets nicer in the later films, but in the first, he's really a jerk, and not just a buzz. I watched a documentary about Toy Story and apparently he was originally an even bigger jerk before. Like almost cruel. Obviously it didn't test well and they had to rewrite. Grandpa Joe. Old man is bedridden and can't help support his struggling family who have been working hard so he can have pipe tobacco. As soon as that golden ticket shows up, "Hey, I can walk. I'll go with you to collect the prize." Then the lazy old codger convinced his grandson to steal fizzy lifting drinks with him. He was no better than the spoiled children. Peggy Hill is a horrible person. Every episode with a plotline centered around her involves her doing something outlandish, and she uses the good intentions of whatever she's doing to justify her selfish desires. For instance, she wants to be a teacher so she just becomes a nun. Can you imagine if your mom did stuff like that? Thrall of Warcraft lore very clearly gave Garrosh Hellscream command of the Horde before he was ready at all, and never once admitted that fault, even when confronted by him and being told explicitly that he wasn't ready, twice. Yeah, reading the book and seeing how everyone around Thrall tells him not to do it and then Thrall just doing it anyway was pretty rage-inducing, especially considering that he's the reason Ken died. Lip Gallagher. Everyone I know loves him for being smart, funny and attractive, but he, aside from Fiona, is the most self-destructive character in the show. He cheats on a girl he knows he shouldn't be with in the first place, he gets himself kicked out of college on a full-ride scholarship twice, and he deliberately chooses to follow the same path as Frank because he believes the jealous lie that he's forgotten where he came from if he goes to college to better himself. Not sure if horrible is the right word, but he's definitely Nosen. James, your dad from Fallout 3. He is directly responsible for your friend's death and put the entire vault at risk by leaving abruptly. He never tells you his plans, and doesn't even seem to know you. He tries to guilt trip you into helping him finish his life's work, and criticizes you for disarming the megaton bomb. If you decide to blow up the town, his opinion of you changes in no way at all. Even though you rescued him, he orders you around like you owe him money. He basically strips you of your agency. Edit. Thanks guys. Didn't expect this to blow up. If you blow up the town, he does get angry at you. Not as much as he should though. If you disarm it, he says he is proud of you. It's not really fair to blame James for the events in the vault. It's not a normal response to go around killing everyone in the vault. The only sane people in that vault seems to be Butch and your dad. Lily, Eliason Hannigan, in How I Met Your Mother. Edit. After 6 years on Reddit, someone finally throws gold my way, on my somewhat goofy old account. I'm still grateful though. I would say all of the characters from him except Marshall. He's the only one who is willing to go out of his way to make the world a better place while the others are content with being, at best, totally self-absorbed, and at worst, downright evil. Edit. Oh good. I came back from lunch and my inbox exploded. I'm sorry. Fez from that 70s show. Total creep. Constantly peeping on girls and everyone just laughs it off like it's normal. Edit. And the episode where he takes the upskirt photo of Donna? I mean, they're all not good, but I'd wager that Kelso is a worse person than Fez. Indiana Jones steals artifacts from natives, destroys their temples, but they belong in a museum. Batman refuses to kill but has absolutely no problem with disfiguring, crippling, or handicapping people for life. To be fair, Bruce Wayne is royally fricked in the head, so there's that. Michael Bluth, of Arrested Development. Without a doubt, you end up really feeling pity to the point where lots of episodes go by before you have your first "oh crap, that's so selfish of him." But when you rewatch the show, you find yourself saying that closer and closer to episode 1. A friend of mine didn't see him having any issues, and like his family, until season 3 when he lied about his family being dead in order to score with Charlize Theron with MR. He reminds me of terrible people in my FB feed that live in constant denial but think their terrible choices actually help their kids. Yeah, he's definitely a messed up butthole in a different way than his family, but he's still a blow through and through. Yoda. The dude saw Anakin was turning and didn't stop it. He also could have saved Luke from finding out the fact that Vader is his father from Vader himself, which caused a lot of emotional distress right after getting a hand severed in a lightsaber duel with him. The ideology of the Jedi was broken since the start, and he, like the others, were raised in a cult-like environment. Even among the Jedi, he and Obi-Wan were the ones who tried to think outside of the box, but were still too set on their mindset. Son Goku. Horrible might be a stretch, but he's definitely not the benevolent hero people think he is. He is only interested in fighting stronger and stronger opponents. He neglects his wife and children to frick off to God knows where and fight more stuff. Vegeta was castigated for letting Cell reach his highest power level, but Goku has done the same type of thing, like giving perfect Cell the Senzu. Goku and Vegeta both only desire to fight stronger opponents. The only difference between them is Vegeta's ego gets in the way and his personality is more abrasive. On the surface, Goku is nicer so he gets away with much more crap, yet it is Vegeta who is a far superior father and husband. I think the main character from Silicon Valley is a whiny little bee. He has the means to make a good product and create a lot of jobs in the process, but he always tries to frick it up by being a hyper-honest crybaby. His attempts to be holier than thou just helps a big corporation to dominate another segment of the tech industry. Rigby. Well, as much as I like him, her now, the Doctor has done some dodgy stuff. A self-confessed liar who abandoned his grand augur, lures people into his TARDIS under the pretext of adventure and then leads them into highly dangerous and volatile situations. Stole his TARDIS, claims to be peaceful but has actually been responsible for the deaths of various species including genocide of his own species and the Daleks, whose name for him is the Predator. Oh no, he isn't now. Thanks Clara. To be fair, the TARDIS stole him too. She is enabling his destructive nature. This will end up as a BuzzFeed article. Nancy Botwin from Weeds. She starts off as someone you sympathize with over the loss of her husband and the burden of raising 2 children on her own. By the end of the series, however, you can't help but feel that she is a crappy parent and even worse human being. I feel like Genji Cohen shows tend to go off the rails after a few seasons and just keep trying to top themselves. Freaking Ruby from Max and Ruby. Jesus Christ, what a condescending, stuck-up snob. Her expectations for everyone are way out of line. Marlon from Finding Nemo. He is a jerk to Dory the whole movie, even after time and time again she proves she is resourceful and there to help. And he is not very funny for a clownfish. Maybe he was a jerk out of the stress of losing his son. In Finding Dory, he is nicer to her. Snape. Just because he's actually on the good side doesn't mean all those times he acted creepy and acted like a C, especially to Harry, just magically go away. Saying that, most of the main characters are annoying. If I were a random kid in Hufflepuff or something, I'd be so done with their crap. Ross from Friends. I mean, he's got good intentions, but I swear 90% of the show's problems and dramas are because Ross felt offended or offended someone. Phyllis Vance, wife of Bob Vance, Vance Refrigeration, The Office. Every single character in The Great Gatsby. I mean, that's sort of the point, lol. Felicity Smoke. She literally got everyone killed because she couldn't wait for an explanation. Oliver. Peter Pan is one nasty mother. Catelyn Stark. She was a loving mother and all, but she continued to undermine her son Rob's decisions as king in the North, which partly led to him losing the war. She released Rob's most valuable prisoner without permission. She would criticize him during meetings with his bannermen, and much more. She ignored her youngest son Rickon and basically abandoned him for the entirety of the series. The poor kid was maybe 4 years old. She also broke a promise she made to the gods to treat and love Jon as if he were her own child when he got sick as a child with a very serious illness, which she partly believed was due to her hatred of him. She promised to have Ned legitimize him as well, but she broke that promise and continued to treat him like crap. She is the god equivalent of that one angry mom at the supermarket who lets her kids run wild and constantly wants to see the manager, then rants on Facebook when they kick her out. Obi-Wan Kenobi. He really could have saved Luke a lot of surprises if he didn't lie about who his father was. Yoda is also a big jerk for the same reason. If the young Jedi you are training to avoid the dark side doesn't know that his own damned father was tempted and fell for the dark side, so he personally needs to be extra careful. You aren't doing your Jedi job right. Also, fair Chris Aches. Tell him Leia is his sister and force sensitive and should also be careful about Darth. Kinda shocking that Darth didn't realize who Leia was in the first 3 minutes of episode 4. Almost as if George Lucas was just making it all up as he went along. The 10th Doctor is not only but he is truly vindictive. selfish and self-righteous, not only Time Lord victorious, but also right at the very beginning of his tenure, Harriet Jones, former Prime Minister, blows up the Sycorax ship. The Doctor doesn't like that. Fair enough. However, he knows that Jones will be re-elected twice more, bringing in Britain's golden age. Jackie, I'm 30 quid better off a week because of her, but she needs to be taught retroactive justice, apparently, and so the Doctor uses his 6 words of "don't you think she looks tired" to bring about a vote of no confidence due to rumors of poor health, ultimately changing the good history he knew just because one stupid ape did something he didn't like, and millions paid the price. He is also incredibly short-sighted. Due to his tampering with the political timeline, he directly allows Harold Saxon to become PM, conquer the Earth with the Toclafane and kill 10% of all human beings, leading to the Year of Terror, or whatever it was called, and put the collective future, rewritten past of humanity into the hands of one little human who is also the most wanted person on Earth. To quote Tony Stark, not a great plan, and that's only one example. There are many, many more. Maybe mentioned already, but Greg Heffley from Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That dude was a straight up sociopath, manipulative with his friends and family, very egotistical and self-centered, only showing empathy for himself. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.